I guess at the same and at kind of there's a point where I guess I can see where I can be sad and not necessarily fearful at the same time. Fearful because myself being sad upon that of for others, because bless everything, because of the way they understand to that of what them never necessarily understanding the way I understand. Never because of the fact that they aren't going to understand like I understand. It's because I understand the way I understand, and they could per se everybody and everything could be living in a different, simply saying on a different timeline, different retrospect, a different perspective, or through a different perspective. Today, right now, like that, done. It's just they're balancing, which kind of makes sense to me more now. They're balancing the whole thing of growing within to growing to that of there's one reason why you go and get a job per se, because I know if I was going to get disability, I wouldn't just sit there and just sit there. I wouldn't just sit there and watch TV all day. I would keep inspiring others. I would make more YouTube videos, or I would put more effort into them, or not necessarily put more effort into them. I would write my books. And I say this now, and there's a point where it's kind of funny, because I don't necessarily, and I say this from the standpoint of a paper bartering standpoint, a money exchange kind of thing, coming in just from me putting in that time. Now, I'm not saying it's not coming to me. I'm saying it's coming to me. It's just it's still arriving. It's coming to me. And so we can re-say, well, I'm kind of on a vacation from that whole thing, in a sense, I'm at the point of reassembly from being broken. So it's going to what I was. So there's a point where I never was sure if I was going to stay on disability forever. If I did get on it, it would just be a nice assisting of just putting my life into a certain order to be able to make it easier to get integrated, or to find my placement, to be able to grow, because you're growing within and you're growing, and so when you're growing, you are adding to what God can be or experience, or that of what is finding your place finding your place so that you can see your fullness when you're looking and seeing yourself grow in, of what is the whole being too human, of finding your place in that area of being too human so that you can still grow within. I'm pretty much sure I covered, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I covered the idea that I wanted to. Because it was pretty much you're trying to find what areas you fit into so that you can kind of shape humanity in a sense. And you do that by getting a job. And it's not necessarily about the money. Money doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just, if you're being too human about it, you think money is what it is. Except when you're being not that much human about it, it's really about money is kind of a point system of this game of life. And the more points you have, sure, it makes it easier to do things. It's also off of the fact of, if you know someone, then it makes it that much easier. That's what it means by it's who you know, because it is off of who you know. To get places, it's off of who you know. That's why it's all about networking. That's why it's all about, there's a point where, that's why you always want to be kind to everybody, because you don't know who knows who. You don't know whose friend is who. You don't know whose family is who. You know, and so that's why there's a point. That's why you never always show your full-fledged anger. You keep that to yourself. Why? Because you're not going to judge yourself like everybody else is. You're going to take it as, okay, I felt that way. I'm glad I did not deny it. I'm glad that I realized that I felt that way. And now I'm going to move on. You're going to move on. You're going to grow within so that you can grow from a standpoint of as if it never happened, per se. Somebody else necessarily would see it, and they will always see that and then you. Like, they get stuck. Not saying, there's a point where you can do the same thing yourself. It's just necessarily they weren't there for the meeting and didn't get the memo of you're going to act like that never happened. And so you're going to have to deal with you wanting to act like it never happened at the same time that somebody else is going to deal with it like it happened. So okay, well, you guys enjoy.